and this will do. So I'm going to pull this other window pane here over. Probably doesn't need to be that far over. But here we have the actual entry, and I am on Dome right now. So you have here, this little thing is the dictionary preview. We're going to get into the dictionary, which is over here in a little while. But basically this is what you're going to see from this entry if you were to look at it, look it up in your actual dictionary. And you can see it shows the word, the pronunciation, the noun, the different senses, all of that. And that's because that's how I have it set up in this actual entry. So the lexeme form is just the form of the word. What does it look like? And that's what I have in this column. And what you're going to have is the head word in the dictionary, although you can also have head word. Actually, I think this is the head word, but the lexeme form is usually what you're going to actually enter when you enter a new word into this lexicon. I can actually put it into my script. I have that set up because I made a script using a couple of different programs and set that up as when I initiated the project. So it is possible. I think that would have to be a separate video post though, but there you have it in the Pyote script. You can specify that it is different morph types. This happens to be a stem, but you can also say that it's a bound root or a bound stem, acclitic, discontiguous phrase, enclitic particle phrase, proclitic, root. So yeah, just a lot of options that you can have for the morph type. And I think I have a couple of different ones that I'd like to see, but to do that we're going to have to use our column configuration and look for the morph types as a column. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and add that. Most of mine are stems, but I have some prefixes, suffix, phrases, another suffix, and so on. So you can see that can potentially be useful depending on what your language does. So I'm going to go back in and get rid of that because I don't really want it right now. Click OK, and we're back to here. Now you'll notice that I guess I kind of got ahead of myself, but entry has this little arrow, the little drop-down menu. We click on that. We have the show dictionary preview. That, like I said, is this part right here. So if I were to click that off, that part goes away. So you might not want to see that, but if you do, you can leave it there. I don't really care if it's there or not right now. Then you have options of insert sense, subsense if that's relevant, variant, allomorph, pronunciation, sound or movie file. I meant to prepare a couple of those and do that here, but I don't have any prepared at the moment. But you can record yourself saying the word, or someone else presumably, and then you can actually link that sound, that recorded reading of the word, to your entry. It's pretty handy, pretty useful. And then if you have variants and things like that, and allomorphs, pronunciation, you can do all that. Okay, the lexeme form has components. You can click on that and add components if there are some. So mine does have it in this case. Oh, well actually this one doesn't. This is one of the components of this word. So you can do that from here, but also the variants, and you can merge it with an entry. If you find you have double words or If for example you had different senses of the same word, you can actually merge that pretty easily with this feature. And then showing the entry in the concordance, the concordance is tied in with your text and words. So if you've used the word in any text, you can click this and it'll show it to you. This particular word I don't have in any of my text at the moment. But you'll see that now the text and words is highlighted, the options up here are different, and again that's a separate video, but we'll get to that. Back to the lexicon now. So those are all your options from the drop-down menu, but they're also within this window itself. So for the sense, if I go down here, I can click in this field, I can insert a sense. I can also insert an example, and I should find a word that I have used and show you how to do that, but I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so back up to the top, the lexeme form. This has a drop-down arrow too, which if you click on it, it gives you this. Show lexeme form and concordance, field visibility, and you can have it always visible, hidden unless it's not empty, or normally hidden. Writing systems, if you have multiple writing systems, you can decide which ones are relevant to you, and you can also change them right here by clicking configure. So if I didn't want to have Pyote available, I could click off of that and click OK, and then now it might not be available, but it kind of is. So there you go. Anyway, and of course I showed you the morph type. Pretty much the drop-down menus from here on out are almost all of the same, usually field visibility. But to change whether a morph type is stem or not, you can click on this little ellipsis that comes up. And there you go, there are your options. Okay, the citation form. This is another area where I'm not entirely sure why you would have this separate, what the difference between a citation form and a lexeme form is, why you would want to use the difference. If I find out, I'll update and let you know. But again, same kind of things there. I could do it in Pyote again. And then the complex forms, this links, since this is a stem or a root, it links it to words that are formed from it. If it were like the word vodom here, you can, in the complex forms, I can add those specific complex forms. So I can find, so vodom has to do with weaving, so I would click yes. Of course it's already there, so it's not going to do it. And then I could do a search for dome, and there it is. So yeah, and vodom is a basket, so it's kind of a woven vessel, a woven carrying thing. That's how you can think of that. That's how I think of it in Pyote. And I have not specified a complex form type, so I'm going to do that now. And this is a compound from the word for to weave and the word for a vessel or carrying device. Okay, I have the pronunciation here, and again, remember you can hide this if you don't have it, if you don't want to have it. You don't have to have that field visible all the time. Notice there were a couple different options here. Insert pronunciation, so if there's another alternate pronunciation or something, I can insert that, or inserting that sound or movie, I can do that from this field too. I can also get rid of it if I don't want it, or if it's wrong or something like that. And of course the help menu always comes up, so if you do have questions, you can try to pursue that and see what you can find. I haven't found the help to be very helpful with some of the things I've been trying to do. Some of it is, of course, but others not. So CV pattern here, you can insert that. But this is another one that's not necessarily important. If your language is tonal, you can put a tone high or low or mid or whatever the case may be. But in my case, it's not. Location, I think you would only want to use this. First of all, you would have a list of locations, and then you can click on this, and you see mine is empty. I don't have any locations because I'm not dealing with live native speakers. This is a conlang. But if I was, or even if I wanted to pretend I was, I could populate the locations list. I can do that conveniently right here, and add some locations for where I heard this word or something like that, or where the interviewee was interviewed.